Welcome back, and we'll begin with your opening statement.
Good afternoon. Excited to be back at Big Ten Media Days. Honored to be leading Northwestern football into the future. Really proud of what our team was able to accomplish in the 2023 season. Say that to also say very excited and thrilled for what's ahead of this program and attacking some of the challenges that exist within navigating a new time in college football and finding ways to keep the Cats at our best as we continue to move forward. Our team has had an incredible offseason, a great spring ball, capped off by a 6-week training cycle this summer. And really excited to report to camp here in the next week and a half and get going on 2024. In a rapidly evolving landscape of college football, there are challenges for sure. But with those challenges also comes opportunity. And as we attack these opportunities, the things that us as a program are going to prioritize are making sure that we continue to support our student athletes and further support our student athletes moving forward, develop our young men holistically, support our young men and absolutely prioritize making sure that our young men earn a Northwestern degree, leveraging our best qualities at Northwestern in a new landscape to compete and win Big Ten championships, all the while doubling down on two things, making sure that we stay true to Northwestern values and continue to build off of and embody what this program has stood for decades. I do want to take this opportunity to introduce the three young men that are with us here today. These three young men were absolutely critical in the success that we experienced in 2023. These young men embody character, courage, leadership, competitive spirit, and a level of gratitude for being at a place like Northwestern. Cam Porter, returning starting running back, returning captain for us, has had an incredible offseason. So excited for Cam to operate within a new offense under the leadership of Zach Lujan. Chris Foster, his running backs coach, does an exceptional job. Cam is part of leading a room that has some of the best depth on our team right now and embodies everything that our program's about. So excited for him to have an incredible senior year. Our offense will go as our running game goes. The opportunities that we create in the passing game will be directly reflected on what we're able to establish on the ground. And Cam is certainly going to be the leader of that running back room, that all pieces of that room will play a critical role in the way that we establish that. The second young man that's with us today, Xander Mueller, starting linebacker for us. Xander, when I arrived on campus, interesting story about Xander. I had an opportunity to recruit Xander in my time at North Dakota State for a short time before the Cats offered Xander, but someone that I've admired from afar for a long time. When I arrived in January, of 2023, was excited to see Xander developing in the program. But the growth that we've seen out of Xander over the course of the last year and a half and what he was able to accomplish on the field last season, I'd say is nothing short of a breakout season for him. I would argue he is unquestioned one of the best linebackers in the Big Ten and in the country, and so excited for him to continue to lead that room, continue to develop, and continue to lead our defense. And lastly, A.J. Henning. A.J., it is a good down for the Cats when A.J. Henning has the ball in his hands, whether that be a special teams down or an offensive down. The versatility that A.J. embodies, the way that A.J. brings a certain electric component, explosiveness to our offense and our special teams game. Some of the things that he was able to demonstrate throughout the season last year in our bowl game against Utah. Again, we are at our best when A.J. Henning has the ball in his hands. So proud of what he's done as a member of our team, only for 2 seasons, but excited for all that is ahead for him, what's ahead for these 3 young men, and for what is ahead of our program in 2024. With that, I'll turn it over to questions.
On your left, Coach.
Matt Shelton, Northwestern Rivals. Coach, this event last year, you had been the interim for about 2 weeks. You were the first to publicly address questions about the hazing scandal. Your daughter was about to be born. Now being back this year, how different has this summer and this pending season been for you, both personally and professionally?
Yeah, no, it's been really unique. A year first, Matt, and going through a first cycle as a head coach. A lot to learn. We have a great staff around me, excited about where our team is at. And personally, it's been incredible. Our family's gotten settled in. We love the area. Our boys love school. They're staying busy with baseball and camps. Very grateful to be here at Northwestern and having had an opportunity to settle in.
Coach, last summer, the program was in turmoil, for a lack of a better word. You inherit the program 1-11 the previous year. You guys win 7 more games in the previous year, 8-5, get a bowl win. Coach, I want to ask you, who were some of the players in your locker room that allowed you guys to reach the success you guys had? Because a lot of people were counting you guys out last year, and you guys proved the world wrong.
Yeah, not to deflect the question. I mean, it took all 103 that chose to stay, but the young men I just mentioned. I mean, Cam Porter, returning captain. I just had a chance to talk with some other people earlier today. Cam Porter may be one of the most impressive young men I have ever been around in my entire life. He's consistent. He's competitive. He builds other people up. He's self-reflective, and he has a thirst for just continuous growth. Bryce Gallagher, who's no longer with us, pursuing his NFL dreams, but I mean, Bryce just had a certain quality about him where he was able to step in the room, step in the locker room, command the room, and just demand the best out of himself and others. I mean, that's just to name a couple, but there is no doubt in my mind the reason that we found success in 2023 was because the leadership on our team. It was a player-led team, and the unique challenge for this 2024 collection of coaches and players is this group collectively hasn't done anything yet. Can we find the same level of leadership within our team? And I believe it exists. I've seen it, but we got to put that into practice in fall camp.
On your left side, Coach.
Ethan Siegel, Inside on You. Hi, Coach. You mentioned that first coaching cycle, and now as you enter that second year, this offseason, able to have a full offseason without a lot of the chaos from last year. You're able to bring in some of your own staff, some transfers. Can you kind of talk about what this offseason has looked like in terms of building a David Braun program and what that looks like rather than just inheriting what came before you?
Yeah, I think the first thing I'll say is, It's not a David Braun program. It's our program. It's our players' program. It's our alumni's program. But really having to be self-reflective on what we want that to look like moving forward, especially in a changing landscape. And at the end of the day, it comes back to what I mentioned in my opening remarks about staying true to our values at Northwestern, and staying true to our objectives at prioritizing the student-athlete experience, prioritizing what the value of a Northwestern degree means, and leveraging all those things to find ways to create competitive advantage that leads to Big Ten championships. I'm proud of what we did in strength and conditioning in our offseason. I'm proud of what we've done in recruiting, and I'm really excited about the way that this staff and this team is starting to gel. I think where I've been most critical on the program is the things that I oversee. There's so many areas that I need to continue to grow in as a head coach, and I'm excited to do that.
Kenneth Berry, Touchdowns and Tangents. Coach, how do you navigate not knowing what you don't know as a first-time head coach? And secondly, what was the process like regaining the trust of the parents and the players who chose to stay after everything that happened at Northwestern?
Yeah, how you navigate it is you control the controllables. Very, very thankful for the leadership of Tony Petitti. Very, very thankful for the group of head coaches here in the Big Ten as we navigate this together. But the only thing you can do is control the controllables and invest in doing a great job in recruiting your class of 2025. Do your best with roster management. Worry about your current team. To your second question. So much of it came down to just spending as much one-on-one time with our players as I potentially could, finding connection points with our parents when possible, getting on Zoom calls. I've been very glowing about my admiration for our players, but I'll go on to say a critical factor in the continued strength of our team has been the support of our players' parents. I mean, that is a special group. Just come hang out with that group on a tailgate this fall. You'll find a very special group that's incredibly supportive of the program, and we'll continue to be moving forward.
Hi, David. Scott Docterman with The Athletic. I wanted to ask you about your new hire, offensive coordinator, Zach Lujan. When did you become aware of him and what he was able to do, and how do you think he'll transform your offense?
Yeah, I got very familiar with Zach competing against him. Some of my largest headaches over the years were trying to defend his offenses. To be very blunt, I was a little resistant to the North Dakota State, South Dakota State rivalry that exists, a little resistant to even exploring Zach as an option. We hired Christian Smith as our D-line coach the previous cycle, one of the best D-line coaches in the country. Became open to talking with Zach, and in our first conversation, I knew he was someone that we were going to be having further conversations. I've been so impressed with his ability to really identify the strengths of the personnel, the strength of your team, the strength of the individuals, the people within your program, and tailor the scheme to fit that. And that's what we need at Northwestern. What he was able to establish at South Dakota State was really, really impressive, and was very excited to see the growth that we saw within that unit over spring ball.
Coach Braun, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.